pitch to what you read because you know what they like, when you know what's appearing in the pages, you know that. So that's who you should be pitching to, is the things that you actually read. And it was the Wednesday, so I had my times, and I was home on the way going home on the subway, and I was like, I like to read about food. It's like all I thought about my whole life. I just clung to my internship at the Daily News. I literally went in as an intern for like 3 years. I was always paid for my stories, and after a couple of months, I inherited a couple of weekly columns. So I had guaranteed 3 stories a week at least. And I remember I would go to the managing editor of features with like 75 pitches. I swear to God, I would go in there with a list of 75 pitches, and she'd be like, "Oh my God, you're killing me." But so I just like worked my ass off in the internship, and eventually they hired me. Went on staff as the features food writer, and then when I left, I was the food editor. And then I went to the edibles with Gabrielle. Woo!
So I was at Time Out for a year, and the editor who hired me left, and again, it wasn't like, here, do you want to be the editor? It was like I really had to prove that I was ready to be the editor. And I became the editor of the food section at Time Out, and I got a hell of a lot out of being there. Then eventually, after 4.5 years at Time Out, Saveur approached me, and now I've been at Saveur magazine for 2.5 years, and I do get to travel the world and write about food, and I get to edit the best food writers in the world. It sounds awesome, because it is. I don't want to shortchange it, but it's still super hard work. And you still, no matter what, I think in life, as good as it gets, you still eat a lot of shit. And you have to keep working hard and working your ass off the entire duration, whether you're a beginner or whether you have, whether you're living the life. So that's my story.
To me, the most fun thing, the best thing about being a journalist is that you get to write about stuff that you're fascinated by, and you can change that by the day or month or year, depending on your own ability to learn stuff and to go out and pitch those stories and to make those connections. And you'll never get bored as a journalist, and I think that going to journalism school helps you gain a wider variety of skills and contacts and ability to do that, but I don't think it's absolutely necessary.
Unless you're going to write memoir or recipes, I think being a reporter and a journalist is the very most important thing about being a food writer. I do. I think being a reporter and a journalist is the most important thing if you're going to do this, if you're going to do that kind of food writing. And from that point of view, I think journalism school is not or having an editor that's going to kick your ass so that you become a better, which a lot of, I have to say that's one drawback. Now we're getting to the blogosphere. If you write for a publication where it's like green lighted and up it goes, you're not learning as a reporter and a journalist.